Okay, so now this week we're going to be talking about finesse square billing. Okay, now finesse square billing is a little bit different because just obviously the bill itself, it's like a smaller profile. It's a little bit different than a flat side, has a little bit different action. So realistically, without further ado, let's just talk about it because this one right here has caught a lot of fish over the years, and it's definitely one that flies under the radar in the Rapala lineup. It's really one of the only Rapala crankbaits that I have tied on right now. I'm showing you that's one that's a plastic one. Obviously, it's a little bit different on that side, being plastic, but what's unique, it's called a BX Brat, and it's number 6. It's encased in plastic. So there's actually balsa. It's a balsa bait that's encased in plastic, and it really does catch them really well. And the thing with this crankbait that I'm really big on is, okay, number one, it's size. He's a lot smaller than a traditional square bill, which that is something for me that I like to have sometimes, a smaller bait. When I'm going in situations and dealing with pressured fish, smaller profile, if I feel like they're really wanting that aggressive action, okay, so I'm not trying to get to the flat side state, I'm trying to get to like a aggressive action, but I also want the smaller profile. That is a good deal. This bait right here, I've personally hung it up in 6. I'm not saying it runs 6 all the time, but we're going to find out here in a bit. Now, as far as, you know, colors, you guys know, I just traditionally, there's a lot of different things you can throw colors-wise. Shad profiles, but crayfish in the pre-spawn is really my number one. This, I think, is called like hot tamale. This is probably the one I throw the most. Just has a little orange to it. It has that orange. And you know what? I think this is something that's really important to talk about too. Really, one of the most important things to talk about in a pre-spawn crankbait specifically, I mean really any crankbait, is the back color, okay? So the back color is the main color if you're bumping the bottom. A lot of the fish are actually pinning that bait on the bottom, so that back color is what they're seeing the most, and then it's rolling and it's creating that flash, okay? Or flash, or a little bit of color flash. In this case, it's orange, you know, like a orange flash. That is a bad little dude, you know, and that to me, like, is, you know, it's important. Like, you just want like that brownish, it's almost like a brownish red back. So anyway, on that side of things, that's what it is. I throw, again, 12-pound is my, if you've watched the series at all, 12-pound line is my consistent day in and day out cranking line, okay? If I'm trying to get a little bit deeper, I will throw it on 10, but it's not like, I don't feel like I'm overpowering this bait with 12. Sometimes I will throw 10 if I'm throwing a lot, like those little, like a tiny, I throw 10. But this bait right here, I do not. Now, one thing I will say as far as, like, now there's some advantages to it as well, but the disadvantages to a smaller profile square bill is smaller hooks. You know, for me, I try to swap these hooks out to, I mean, you can catch them just fine with these hooks themselves, but just part of throwing a smaller crankbait, no matter what crankbait you throw out there, they're going to come with smaller hooks. And so for me personally, I like swapping out my hooks on this particular crankbait to a number 5 short shank hybrid. That's a VMC hybrid treble hook. That's basically a short shank. This is a number 6 short shank right here, but a number 5 is what I've used. Every once in a while, you can switch it up and try it, something different, but that's something when I'm hooking bigger fish, and I've caught some dang big ones on this. I mean, 4 or 5 pounders, and you know, so you just, man, if you're in a tournament situation, that's what I personally swap them out to. It's just basically a deeper diving finesse square bill. Personally, I feel like it's the smallest square bill that dives the deepest on the market, and that's why I have to have it in my lineup, just because it's unique like that, and it's a bad little dude. So let's go ahead and make a few casts, sort of see what this guy runs, and then we'll come back and talk a little more about it. All right, so let's check out the BX Brat number 6. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Let's see what we got. We're in 10 feet of water. Right there. He's 5 foot deep right there. Okay. 5 feet. Let's do it again. Decently long cast there. And that's going to be a pretty good pre-spawn cast, I'd say. So we'll see how deep he gets.
He's sitting there. He's 5 right there for sure. Now he's getting down to 6, 30 foot out. So I'm gonna say consistently that bait gets down there 5 feet. You can get him as much down to 6 is what I'm gonna say. So right there he's 5, 40 feet out on a 70 foot long cast. He's 5. He's 5.5. There it is.
Okay, so I didn't really get to talk about the wiggle wobble part of that. You guys see this bait runs about 5 feet deep. I have hung it up in 6. The wiggle wobble on this guy is about a 5. He's more almost like a DT6 like a little bit, maybe a 5.5, a little bit more. But he, you know, he just generates bites. You know, a BX Brat. One of the crankbaits that really flies under the radar. I have several of them in the lineup. I have ones that, you know, I have the traditional crankbaits you got to talk about. That you're like, okay, I heard about that one, I know about that one, but there's some in this lineup that you're like, wait, what? What's that? So this one right here is one that definitely flies under the radar, and there's reasons behind that. They just don't know. They just don't know. So if you're looking to upgrade in your square billing game, or you want a square bill that dives a little bit deeper, this crankbait right here is the one for you. Check him out. And then again, as always, I try to ask your guys' opinion on things because I want you guys to let me know. Drop a comment below. Let me know how your you know, if you fish these crankbaits, if you have any experience with it. Hey man, I've had no luck with it. I want to hear that. Hey man, I've caught them. I've caught them really good with it. I'm always really interested to hear those scenarios because you guys are just like, you know, a big giant family of people that bass fishing or fishing community. There might be something, hey, you know, I actually catch the heck out of them in the summertime on one of these crankbaits, a wiggle ward or whatever it might be. So that's always something that's really interesting to me. And I do really appreciate you guys commenting and always, you know, giving us a thumbs up and looking out. So we will see you guys on the next video. We're getting through them, man. There's a lot of crankbaits out there on the market, but I want to just give you guys different genres and sort of get you an understanding of how sort of my mind works. And if you learn something from that, if it's only a handful of you all, you know, learn something from these videos, at the end of the day, that's my job. Is like I want to make it to where someone can be a better fisherman and they catch more fish. And if they do, I did my job. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on the next one.